Hi friends, today in life coaching, let's discuss on how we can overcome the depression. Most of the people in today's world, if you come across with them, they use the word I am depressed. So what's the cause of depression and why it happens to the people? It's a very simple logic, but it's a very complicated one when it comes to the individual. When you are in a highly emotional state of mind, the mind doesn't work, and whatever decision you take at that time leads yourself into a complicated mind. So when the mind is not clear, then the mind doesn't allow you to think what you want to do further. So that's why people go into the depression. When the depression happens, if you analyze this, when you have a major loss in the family, you lost one of your close ones, there is a relationship breakup, you're not able to cope up with your studies, you're not able to cope up with your adolescence, you're not able to cope up with your parents, you're not able to cope up with your friends, at times even the peer pressure, all those things put the pressure on the people and make them to get into a depression mode. So when the depression happens, you can easily see the people looking for solutions, but they will be highly on an emotional state of mind. At this emotional state of mind, when the mind doesn't work, then people let themselves into complications. It could be a drug, it could be an unwanted thing which puts them more into further a complicated way of living their life. So that is why we need to come out of the depression first. Depression is not a state, it's only a stage. What is the difference between the state and the stage? The state is that is being tuned and then set. Further, it cannot be changed. Wherein the stage is a one which often comes across the various states. So when I say it's a stage, you can easily overcome this stage. So what you need to do, first analyze what exactly happened. In most of the cases, the depression happens with the people's expectations. When you keep the expectations in your mind, when the expectations are not fulfilled, then the mind goes into a depression. When you are emotionally connecting with the people, and when something happens in that relationship or with the people, then the mind again goes into a depressed state. The word relationship is always been used by many. I always say, don't get into the relationship, rather relate yourself. What does it mean? When you are connecting with a person, try to relate yourself with the person and don't get into a relationship. You all know when you are getting into a ship, the ship always has a tendency of getting into a sinking mode. So don't get yourself sunk when you get into a ship. So relate yourself. How to relate? You have to emotionally connect with them, but you have to keep your identity yourself. So how to keep my identity? People many a time get complicated between two words, personality and individuality. What do you mean by personality? Personality is the one which actually personified by the individuals when I see the other person. So you take me, I see some three people, I get influenced by them, their traits I try to follow, then it becomes my personality. Whereas individuality is the one which actually imbibed within yourself. So which is required? Individuality is the one which is required. So when your own individuality is not able to be sustained by you, then it is being influenced by the other person. I just give a small example. When you're a kid, who's influencing you? It is your mom who influences you. When you go to the school, who influences you? It is your teacher who influences you. When you come to the college, who influences you? It is your friends or the society. When you go to an office, your boss influences you. When you get married, your partner influences you. When you give birth for a child, the child influences you. If you see, friends, right from you being a child and you give birth for a child, in your life cycle, you are being influenced by either a third person or the environment, which is not in your hands. In this process, your personality is getting dusted by the people whom you have been interacting with. So when these get dusted, it's like a mirror which is get dusted. So when these traits of others gets dusted in your mirror, then you become others. I always say that don't become the puppets of others. Also, I say don't become football of others' influence. So these two things gives you others' personality in you. A successful person is the one who sustains these kinds of things and overcomes this and sustain his or her own individuality. So when you sustain the individuality, when you get into a kind of a depressed mode, it always helps you to come out of it and then takes you to the next level. So when you're under depression, analyze what made you to get into it, come out of it, identify the resources available in front of you and decide which resource you would like to use it. Take the resource, work out the plan with your life coach and then take it forward. I'm sure that people can easily overcome the depression. As I said, depression is a part of the stage of your life. It's not a permanent one. So the decision is in your hands. We are here to assist you. How to assist you? Connect me on my Gmail, nc.myron@gmail.com. Thank you.